Hello and welcome to the Welliverse with Tim and Chris.
Hello, welcome to episode 6 of the Welliverse. This week it's titled Unsolicited Fitness Advice.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Tim, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Oh, just before we start, Tim, I want to say a really big thanks to everyone who's actually reached out and given us feedback on our podcast. I've had lots of people through my Instagram at Living Moving Being and just, on Facebook or wherever. I've had people commenting and saying how much they're enjoying the episodes and, what they're getting out of it. And we've even had topic requests, which we love. I just wanted to thank all of those people who actually bother to say, hey, what you're doing is effortful and it's helpful and we love it because it makes us feel great and makes us inspired to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's so good. And some requests would be great because this is definitely unsolicited. So we'll see how we go. What we're going to talk about is just the stuff that we wish that the people out there on the footpath and the cycleway and in the park just working hard, we wish they knew so that they get the most out of the effort and the time and the emotion that they're putting into their health and fitness.
Yeah, so it's kind of the stuff that we would love to just be able to say, but you can't really do that without being a douche. You can't walk up to a stranger and say, excuse me, but I know something that will make your life even better.
But you can do it on a podcast.
But you can do it on a podcast.
Yeah. First, though, Chris, what have you been putting your energy into this week?
Okay, so this week I spent a lot of nervous energy looking forward to the CrossFit Open workout, 17.2. I knew that, I'm really little and I'm inexperienced with CrossFit, so I know that whatever the workouts are, they're probably going to be something that's kind of out of my reach. But yeah, first the process of, I wonder what it's going to be, and then finding out on Friday what the workout was going to be and stewing for a few hours thinking, well, what on earth am I going to do? But then that whole mental process of, I'm going to take it on. My goal is to attempt all of them RX. For everyone out there who doesn't know what the CrossFit Open is, it's one workout a week, which is a challenge, how many thousands of people are doing it, Tim?
300,000 maybe?
300,000 in the world. And we're doing it through our gym, CrossFit Verve for Life. And there's the RX workout and the scaled workout. Scaled is less intense, often there's lighter weights or a different type of movement. But my goal is to do it all as written. So I put a lot of energy into doing that and did it on Friday night. That was awesome.
A really good lesson.
Awesome.
Because you can psych yourself out and freak out about it. But you managed to go through that process and just say, okay, I'm going to do what I can do.
Yep.
And you did it really well.
Yeah, and so far with the first 2 workouts that we've done, I've been really happy. I have by no means been amazing at them, but I've really surprised myself and feeling great about that. What about you, babe?
Well, aside from CrossFit thinkings, I've been working on my flexibility.
Yes. Oh yeah.
This is a problem for probably maybe an ex-runner. Am I heading into that direction? I don't know.
Once a runner?
Yeah, definitely still a runner, but with other aspirations now. So I've been working on sort of mobility, flexibility, and getting things moving again. And I'm really neurally tight and, short sort of concentrically contracted muscles.
It's not just neurally tight.
Yeah.
Tight with the purse. No, I'm joking. We can cut that out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So that's me, and it's going to be a slow process. So maybe I'll say that again next week and the week after.
I've been putting energy into that too, but I'm very flexy. Or no.
At Living Moving Being, just go check out some of them.
I'm not. I'm flexy in some aspects. So anyway, I'm working to improve on what I can't do.
Okay.
Anyway, enough about us.
Now to the real thing.
Yeah.
Unsolicited fitness advice.
I love, by the way, I'm just going to preface this. Tim and I have chatted about what we're going to chat about, and we come at this unsolicited advice from very different perspectives, which is great. So,
Right.
well, yours is all about how to help people be better at what they're doing. And mine's just like, I just want to make people feel good. So anyway.
So like free hugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if it was socially appropriate, that's what I'd be doing. Come here, you're
so
loved.
nice to see you, random stranger.
Okay.
Alright. So, first point is running, all you runners out there on the footpath, is a skill. And even though it does take kind of grit and determination and just getting your shoes on and, you know, plodding through some Ks and being able to do that regularly to make some changes, it's not just about the flailing energy of running. It's about the everything of running, the skill, the technique, the focus, the control, the energy management. There's so many facets to it. So we run a single running coaching session a week as part of our morning fitness classes that we do here in Lake Macquarie. And the mantra that I go through with the people who come along for a bit of coaching is to think about posture, breathing, and light feet. And when you're trying to just get into running and, you know, you're short of breath and you're huffing and puffing and failing all over the place, I know that you can't focus on more than one thing at a time. So I get people to take a step back, slow down a little bit, and rather than just think about running as fast as they can and putting as much energy into their movement as they possibly humanly can, to just breathe, okay, and think one at a time for as long as you can, maybe 30 or 60 seconds at a time, and cycle through focusing on fixing up posture and then fixing up their breathing and then thinking about their feet and making sure that they're light and smooth and trying to maintain those but being able to continue through.
Yeah. I think what you said about people wanting to go as fast as they can, like I can totally relate to that. When I started running, I was about 19 or so, and like if I could go back and tell me back then something useful, it would be like there's no expectation on you. Just you're getting into running. Running is difficult. Try a few minutes at a time and try it slowly. You know, I think a lot of that initial feeling of failure that people experience, or just, you know, when you hear people say, oh, like I've got to go for a run, like I hate running, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think the reason that they're not finding a point where it's enjoyable is because they have the wrong mentality going into it. They think, I have to do this and I have to like run.
Do it as hard as possible.
Yeah, and it has to be at least half an hour or else it's not worth it. And like literally you could walk for half an hour and that would be really good for you. So the fact that you're adding any running into that mix is awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're just getting into running, take your time with it. And yeah, that's why we love this run gang so much that we've started up, because Tim gets to actually say, hey, like these are the foundations of running, that if you use these right from the start, you'll build up in a safe, injury-free way.
Because it's definitely a novice attitude to think I've got to get out there and like I've got my route and I'm just going to smash it as hard as I can. And in a way, that can be one of the most satisfying things about running. Having a distance or a route that you know, a month ago took you half an hour, but today you can do it in 25 minutes, and trying to whittle that down.
Yeah.
But good runners, experienced runners, know that they don't have to work as hard as they can every single run that they do. What their bodies need is consistency, some variety, and recovery between sessions. And if all you're doing is just digging yourself a deeper hole, but not giving yourself the nutrition and the time to actually improve and come out on top, you're going to get injured before you get a chance to learn that properly. So running's a skill. Focus on posture, breathing, and light feet, not just going as hard as you can. You can check out a blog post that I put on Chrissy's blog if you want a little bit more detail on that. But if I could whisper in someone's ear and just say, hey, just chill out, and you're not just getting out and moving, which you may need to do some days, but you're also practicing
getting better at
movement
this.
patterns.
Yeah.
And you can be, over time, improving your technique.
Yeah, I have a few things that I want to say. First, Tim actually wrote a really good guide that you can download for free on our Shopify store. You go to www.livingmovingbeing.com.au. We're not selling anything. I'm just telling you that guide is free. So if you're thinking, like I'd love to improve my running, guys, but wouldn't have a clue where to start, Tim's actually written down all of his advice, and it's got flexibility and strength drills that you can do that are going to support you in your running. Like it's really useful. So if you don't know where to start, go and check that out. Download it for free. And let us know what you think, or if you've got any questions for Tim, he's always happy to field those. But the other thing I wanted to ask you, Hunt, which I think might be useful for people, is what kind of things do you see on the footpath that make you want to tell people, hey, you could be doing that so much better, or, what elements of people's running do you notice most commonly that really need work?
Okay. The biggest thing is people trying to take too long a step at a time. So their cadence, their rate of steps is too slow, and they're trying to just take big, long bounding leaps, which means that, over 100 meters, they're taking fewer steps, and each step is a big thudding step, and they're just whacking into the ground and ending up with, shin splints or knee pain.
Yeah, so
my
common.
tip is light feet, which means quicker feet and possibly shorter steps, and staying in control. Modern running shoes are great because they can be comfy and nice, but most of them have a pretty huge, high elevated heel, which means you can crash down into the heel and have a longer stride without immediately feeling any problems.
But over time you will.
You end up with tight ankles and some problems. So like the shoes are great as long as you know to also be mindful about how you're moving in those shoes. Another one is just posture. People sort of really
round at
hunched
the
forward,
shoulders.
small lungs, sort of head down looking at the ground, and just sort of waddling along. You should be thinking tall with shoulders on the side of the body so that you've got space to expand
breathe.
and breathe into.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's awesome advice. And I mean, I have, ever since I started running, it's been with Tim by my side. So I've had the benefit of having this voice in my ear saying posture, breathing, light feet, and saying also, hey, don't put so much pressure on yourself. It's okay if you need to slow down, or it's okay, So having that regulation there is really good. And for most people who are getting out there and wanting to run, if you're running, anywhere between 5 and 50 Ks a week, just learn to self-regulate and learn to say, okay, what's the purpose of this running session? Is this one for my speed? Is this one for my endurance? Is it just to get out and have a good time? Regardless of what it is, your form really matters and is going to make the difference between being able to run for long, as in the session itself, and also in life without getting injured. And liking it. You'll love it if you do it properly. I actually
love it
believe
if you won't do it properly.
True,
but
but
you
it
just
won't
be
last
able
for as
to-
long.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, thanks for that, Tim. That was useful. My first sort of thing that I sometimes want to say to people when I see them out exercising, out on the path, I want to say, like, good job. What you're doing is worthwhile and valuable, and don't feel bad for spending time doing it. I think we have a lot of guilt associated with working on ourselves and working, spending any time exercising. Like, I think that's particularly common for people to say, oh, like, I would love to be able to go for a run or to exercise or go out for a power walk, but I just don't have the time. And what I want to say to people who are out there on the path is, yes, keep making that choice, because that little, window of 40 minutes or 60 minutes that you're setting aside every day, it goes so far beyond, just improving your fitness. It's time for you to think, to reflect, or to not think. You might have some pretty high pressures in your life that you just need to escape for a little while. And it can make such a big difference to people to have that space where they're experiencing a challenge, but it's just for them. It's not about anyone else. It's about, just working on them
Yeah, and living.
And
getting out
getting
and
out.
you see the world, you see stuff happening, you see that house over there that's slowly being built, or you see the sunrise and, you see a flock of birds go past.
And you see other people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we love about running. And it's funny because we have these conversations while we run. Oh, if only I could say to that person, we love watching the other people because you learn from seeing other people out and enjoying their life.
That 90-year-old we see on the same corner because we leave the car park at 6 a.m. and they must leave at like 5:30 a.m. And every time they're right there. Hello.
And they're...
Morning.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
Apakaba.
And you are likely to see a lot of other people out there who feel great because that time is valuable. That time that you're spending out there is good for you, and as an extension will be good for all the other people in your life. I know that I'm a much better person when I've had time to take care of myself, reflect.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities. So what I want to say to people when I see them is awesome choice. Like, so cool that we're both out here moving. Yay, us. Let's spread the gospel.
Yeah.
I guess.
I like it.
Thanks.
Makes me feel maybe a little sad for those who can't be part of the club.
But everyone can.
Everyone can, you reckon?
I think so. I mean...
Mum at home with the kids, dad work, shift work.
I think, yes, people have barriers to getting out and doing that. But for all the couples I see who are out there together with their kids, awesome. Single parents, I mean, they may not be single, but a mum with a pram and a kid on the scooter, like, yeah, it's hard and it might be messy and your kid might fall over and it might be stressful. But I reckon after a few times of doing that, I mean, that kid is going to learn invaluable life skills from you, just watching you get out and prioritize being active and being there doing it with you. I'm not a parent yet, but I really hope that that's what I can show to my kids if and when I have them, because I know that that was something that wasn't there in my childhood that, looking back, I really wish I had had. So, yeah, like, identify the obstacles and then reach out for the support if you are lucky enough to have people in your life that can support you to prioritise fitness, I'd say.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to look the same.
No, it
but
might look different for everyone.
there's something that can be done.
Yep. I mean, a lot of fitness facilities, I mean, it doesn't have to be outdoor exercise. A lot of places have a creche. And yeah, like, it may cost dollars. It might take a lot of organisation and pre-planning, but I think it's worth it. And that's my opinion. That's what I'd like to say to people. It's worth it. Do it.
I like it. All right. My point number 2 relates to bikes. So it's probably my...
So this one, this is quite specific.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, we see a lot of people riding bikes, and we like riding bikes. Tim particularly likes riding bikes. Can I tell them how many bikes you have?
Okay.
I'll probably get it wrong. I think he's got 4.
Technically true.
How many do you have?
Yeah, 4.
4, okay. He has 4.
Yeah.
And to me, like, that's a lot of bikes to have. But, I mean, he likes them, and he rides them. So I support his happiness.
So bikes are great.
Yes,
especially for
really
people
good.
who have some troubles with either
load-bearing activity.
Yeah, load-bearing. So running or even walking. Getting on a bike can be a great way to get that feeling of moving and seeing things.
And a good bike can make a big difference to how
Yeah, that's
enjoyable
probably
it is.
tip number 1.
Yeah.
A good bike makes a big difference. But whatever bike you've got can probably, if you know how to look after it, be good enough. So just things like seeing people go past with flat tires, like, just pump them up. Like, what are you doing working so much harder than you need to? Yep.
Is that a good impression?
Yep. Chains need lubrication, especially
A
if
bit of lube goes a long way.
That's just good life advice, isn't it? And, like, you go to your bike shop and you say, look, this is my bike. What would you recommend?
Oh, yeah. They'll help you without even charging you anything.
Yes.
Sometimes, especially if you smile sweetly.
Yeah, support your local bike shop. But you hear some chains just sort of grating along, and there's a few people that regularly ride, and I find it amazing that they don't know a little bit of bike maintenance. You're nodding?
I wouldn't know the first thing to do. I mean, I've just had you to always take care of my bike, and I really appreciate it. Like, Tim every so often does a little bit of a maintenance on my bike, and you definitely notice the difference. Even things like the gears need recalibrating every now and then. So if you're struggling to select a gear, or it's not going into the right gear properly, and it's just like the layman like me, I'm like, I have no idea what to do about that. But it actually wouldn't be that hard, would it, to find out what I do need to do.
And if you're having troubles, if you're skipping gears or bouncing along, that might be something that if you're not comfortable with tools, you just take into a bike shop, and they charge you a fee to service it. But hey, if that skipping, jumping gear on your bike is what's stopping you from getting out there, well, get it fixed.
Yeah, actually, you shouldn't let that derail your,
I'll
now
just
I
put
can't
this bike
ride
in the
anymore.
garage and sell it in the garage sale in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
Well, use the thing.
Get on it. Bike riding is so good for you. An amazing type
And the
of
last
fitness.
little tip I was thinking of is posture on the bike.
Oh, yeah.
So, when I was a kid, we had BMXs, and the seats slammed down as low as possible so that you could do mad tricks. But if you're using a cycleway and just cruising along, most people will need to have the seat probably a little bit higher than they may otherwise think, because especially if you're starting to go just a little bit faster, you're a bit more aerodynamic, especially if the seat's up at the right height being as you go through the pedal stroke, your knee almost reaches fully straight, full extension as you're cycling, rather than having the seat so low that your knees come up higher than your hips, and really bent knees as you're cycling through. So if that's someone that give them a hand with an Allen key or a little seat adjustment.
I think this is probably a good time to mention that sometimes on the footpath we wish we could say, keep left. What are you doing? Don't walk 5 abreast on the footpath. Like, yes, you might love your friends, but you don't need to all walk in a row and take up the whole path. Now, I only say this because when I'm on my bike, I really don't want to hit anyone. Like, I really don't want to. But some people seem to have not a very good awareness that they're sharing that path with cyclists.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely goes both ways.
Totally.
Just spatially aware
and
of
cyclists,
what's around you.
Use your bell, let people know you're coming. Don't abuse the bell. But let people know you're coming, and just if you are a pedestrian on the footpath, just try and be mindful. Yeah, be mindful about who's around you sharing the space with you, because that's good.
That's all I got.
Cool. Oh, well, I do have one more thing that I want to say to people who are out there. So when I'm running sometimes, or walking or riding, whatever we're doing out there, sometimes I see people who look like they're really battling. They look like they're not particularly enjoying being out on the path exercising, but like they feel like they really need to be doing it. And quite often these people possibly are quite overweight, and I have no idea what stage of their fitness journey they're at, what their previous journey has been like, or what their current lifestyle habits are. But sometimes something I want to say to people that say to me, I'm running this many kilometers a week and I go to the gym all the time, but I just can't lose weight. When people say that to me, I say, okay, exercise is not a vehicle for weight loss. Like, people who don't need to lose weight should be exercising every day. Everyone should be moving every day, regardless of what weight they are. People who need to put on weight need to exercise. So
would you...
What I kind of want to say is, if you are out on this path running to punish yourself for the 5 slices of pizza you had last night, or running so that you can have 5 glasses of wine tonight, then maybe reevaluate why you're exercising in the first place, because that should not be your motivation. And this is my opinion, but I don't think it's helpful, and I don't think it's a sustainable attitude towards exercise. It leads people to think of exercise as sort of punishment, and think of it as a bad thing, think of it as a chore, which is a real shame, because there's so many great things that those people could probably be doing that they actually really enjoy, that are good for their body at the same time. So this isn't a judgment on people wanting to eat 5 slices of pizza or have, lots to drink. This is me saying, don't try and outrun a poor diet and be mystified that you're not losing weight.
So I think what you're concerned about is seeing people unhappy and
Yes.
struggling and just not succeeding.
And then giving
And-
up on exercise because, it's not
Yeah.
working for me.
And when you, at the start of this, when you said what exercise is not a way to lose weight, you don't actually totally mean that completely.
Oh, yeah. Exercise and diet in conjunction
Yeah.
are the most effective way to lose weight.
Yeah.
But
So I think what you're trying to say is viewing exercise as the only way in which you can burn off your energy is going to create some negative psychology that's just going to be unhelpful for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That is what I mean. Yeah, it's hard for me to put it into words. And like I've had these same thoughts in the past where, I do my workout, and this is back when I was in a weight loss phase, because I used to be a lot heavier than I am now. And if I ever did exercise or go out for a run, I wouldn't want to eat after it, because that would negate all the energy I'd just burnt. And my brain was thinking, no, I need to do whatever I can to not be having extra energy. And that's just a real shame, because your exercise is fueled by your food. So if you do want to have a healthy weight range and a healthy body that can move well, self-control is what you need with your food. I mean, if you really, really, really want all the junk food, you've just got to accept that means extra weight on your body. And it's as simple as that. If you want to eat lots and lots of really bad food, then you will have extra weight. And if you're happy with that, cool. But don't sort of be at war with yourself thinking, I'm slaving away at the gym, yet I'm not losing weight, but you're just ignoring all of this extra food that you're eating that isn't serving your body. So this all sounds really negative. Maybe a more positive way of putting this is eat good food to fuel your movement. Yeah.
Good quality
good
movement.
quality
Moving
movement.
well and getting better and practicing over time is a great thing. Eating and enjoying good quality food is something that you can continue to explore for the rest of your life.
Yeah. You'll
And
get the balance if you
and-
want to work for it.
your current weight status does not equate to your current health status. It may be one factor, but they are not the same thing.
Yeah. And like if you are serious about needing to lose weight or really wanting to get your diet under control, go and find out how. Do some research or go and see a dietitian. Dietitian, not necessarily a nutritionist. Like actually go and see somebody who knows what they're talking about with food from a research-based perspective. If you're really serious about it and you don't know where to start, that would be my advice. Because it's worth learning about. It's your body. You only get one, and you're going to have to care for it for the rest of your life. So it's worth investing time, maybe a little bit of money, into finding out learning how to do that. Yeah,
I like it.
me too.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm sorry it took so long to get there.
Well, what do you guys think? Is there anything that you agree with, disagree with, or wish we had said instead? Yeah, get in touch. We're on Insta at _Welliverse, and you can also shoot us an email. Maybe shoot Chris an email at chris@livingmovingbeing.com.au.
Yeah, you can address it to Tim if you like. I don't mind. Like, as in, he'll read it if it's for him. But yeah, we like we said before, would love to hear your requests for topics. Usually we are quite researchy with our podcasts. We like to actually have some factual data to present you with. This one, though, was a bit of it's just stuff that we kind of wish we could say to people. So we're using this platform to say it, which is also helpful.
Love it.
I love it too. A lot.
That's awkward.
Sorry, guys. See you next week.
Bye.